if you see this picture, this is actually one of our kampung or rural areas within the city, which we activated with this here is performance and video mapping, the blue light over there, and they have this free screening of movies and so on. This is how we attempt to introduce creativity in a way to these people, because of the gap, they live range within a lower income group of people, and they don't care about design, they don't care about creativity, they need to eat first. And this is how we inject creativity in a way so they can be involved too. And this is one of our program. Our is BCCF, Bandung Creative City Forum, one of our main programs, and we have worked with so far about 8 kampungs or 8 neighborhoods, and we hope to have more, and we hope it to spread. I'm Tita, I'm the General Secretary of BCCF, and Vicky there, he's now my operator, but he's actually the chairman of the organization. This is a bit of our portfolio. So this, we were established in 2008, starting with a festival, like most of you did. So we are different creative communities. Some are musicians, architects, artists, and we all have same thing, which is we want to make exhibitions, performance, and so on. So we held that in under one umbrella called Helar Fest, and this is how BCCF starts. And this is our journey from 2008 to 2013. And the orange dots in the middle, those are the city issues, the urban issues that we try to respond to by having these programs. So in 2008 and 2009, we still have this Helar Fest, another festival and another festival. And it really takes a lot of energy to do that, especially when you're an independent organization and you're working voluntarily for this organization. I have my own job, I'm a lecturer and designer. Vicky is also, he's an entrepreneur. He has his own clothing brand, and he's also teaching in a university in management. So all of us come from different backgrounds. So we actually, well, considering the government then of Bandung City, we tend to give examples or prototypes to the government of how to run a city by using creativity or injecting creativity in small amounts, but in many places. So that's why it's called urban acupuncture. Many of you who are architects or urban designers maybe are familiar with the term. So this urban acupuncture is we're injecting this creativity in small parts of the cities, but we want it to take effect. So it's like you see a city as the body of a person. You don't have a lot of medical equipment, you only have a needle, but you have to know where you put the needle in. And this is what we do. So we give examples to the municipality how to, for example, have a car-free day, or have a food bazaar at night, or have a playground, or how to run a park, and so on. And now we have a huge change because the former chairman of BCCF is now the mayor of Bandung. So he's now already in office for 6 months, which now we think that, okay, now the mayor understands what we're doing with creativity, so we have now different challenges. Now that the mayor wants to enhance the facilities and so on in creative sectors, then our task is different now. And Vicky is now the chairman of BCCF. So this is mainly what we did. And learning from our experience, this has been our journey since 2008 to 2013. These are our connections. Many are academics, academic institutions, governments. So we take this for the quadrohelix of creative city actors, academics, government, communities, and private sectors in many kinds of programs and so on. Some of you might be familiar with some of these programs too, because we have this Creative Catalyst with British Council. We have this a lot of Asian and Southeast Asian champions of British Council also gathering in Bandung, and we visited each other, interns, and so on. So based on this experience and our programs earlier, we try to make a strategy of how we would determine a creative city. So we realized that we have these 3, you see the pink box, we have these 3 potentials, main potentials of Bandung. We know that our capitals are mainly social and cultural, and we do things in urban acupuncture scale with the needles. and we implement design thinking, which also is new for us. But then design thinking, we call it design action because we act more than we think. Because there are lots of problems in Bandung, which is our challenge, and we tend to do things one after another without much thinking. We just do it. So some work, some don't, but at least we try. And at least we give the government examples how to do things. And we put these three as our strategy to activate an inspirational space, which is actually a city. So this playground called Bandung is actually our space to do things, conferences, festivals, and whatever. And we also have this concept of making everything, all our programs have to leave footprints, economic footprints. The people has to feel that they can gain some benefits, financial benefits out of it. We should have these socio-cultural footprints, which means some that these people can express themselves, equities, issues, and so on. And we would leave also environmental or artifact impact. So we have a structure or something tangible sometimes that remind them that they can always do these things. And if people are getting used to these footprints, then we hope to generate creative citizens, which will form a creative city. So this is how we concept or determine our creative city. Show number 5, please. So based on those two, we also make our roadmap to 2017 because BCCF leadership goes for 5 years. So we have these 4 main programs. Helarfest festival still has to go on. Creative Kampung or Creative Neighborhood, we still work with this kampung. We have the final destination is to make them tourist destination with world-class tourist destination. Symbol Institute is more like informal academics, so we held courses and so on for communities who want to share their skills and knowledge. And we always have starting last year, we have this workshop conference on design thinking, which aims to answer urban problems. So last year we have a design action conference with the theme urban mobility. And this year we have another one in November. You're all invited, by the way. And this year we, like I said, because we have now different challenges, because the mayor now already takes care of the infrastructure and facilities and so on. So he's building the hardware, we're going to build the software. So our design action theme this year is identity or identity in the city. So if people feel they belong to a place, they would take care of it. Our government or our mayor, he can make nice sidewalks, nice parks and so on. But if the people don't take care of it, they just throw garbage anywhere, they just do whatever they like, then it doesn't work. So we have to work side by side. So although we are independent institutions, we have to still help whatever to make Bandung a livable city. And the next we're going to show you is because we're so much involved in this, we're like private government for Bandung. So then the mayor before now, he chose us as a team, and Vicky is the head of the team to make the proposals for UNESCO Creative City Network in the cluster of design. And this is what we submitted to UNESCO. So it's like we're making our own data and so on. And we also have this fact that Bandung is a city of about 2.5 million people, and 70% are below 40 years of age. So it's like a house full of teenagers where parents cannot do anything because they're outnumbered. So we can just do anything we like. And but that kind of demographic bonus is not a bonus at all if the teenagers are not that qualified. So we have to really educate them in a fun way. And we know that these people, place, and ideas are our own main weapon for Bandung. And the intersection of these two things always comes up to something with economical benefit or entrepreneurship or so on, because that's how we live as well. And this is some of our data, the team, and so on. We work mainly, so although the mayor, the previous mayor gave us the a list of names, like you have to do this, you have to do that, but there's no real support for us. So we do this by ourselves, and still voluntarily, but we do this because we really want to know what Bandung has, or we just can gather data as well. So this is how we activate, for example, our forest, our only city forest. We built the forest walk in 2011 with the UN money, with no permission from the government, but it's still there. And we have this fine dining experience in the forest with live blues music from afar. This is one of the examples of our activities. Yeah, I told about this already. And that was a proof of that Bandung income comes from creative industries in the field of design or fashion. This is when Design Action took place. So we invited, there was about 250 people from 4 quadrohelix, the 4 actors of Creative City, and we work on urban mobility. So they have to experience walking, cycling, taking the public transport, bus, and so on. They can come up with something. This is a bit about Bandung history. It was a colonial city, favorite city from the Dutch colonial era, because they like to experiment in our city, building stuff. You see the festival down there is a Helar Fest. It was in 2009. And then up there you see the bicycle rack. There's actually also community-run bike sharing system. So not run by the government, but the bicycle was bought again by the UN money in an event. And then and when the event was over, we were left with about 400 bikes, which we wanted anyway, because then we can make this bike sharing scheme. This is another Helar Fest examples. This is Bandung. Doesn't look like much of a city, but this is actually the map of Bandung, and these are fashion design zones in Bandung. So Bandung is famous for its textile industry, and now also in the early 90s, it was famous for its distribution outlet, or distro they call it, which is small companies with small brands. But then they define Bandung as city for fashion. They have this Kickfest. Kickfest is for the distro brands. They make these festivals for 3 days, and they generate lots of income and so on from this field as well. So this is like just a photo show of Bandung. I think you can continue. We have this Bottle House is the house of the residence of private house of our mayor now. He's an architect, and this is Vicky's house, also his shop, also designed by Ridwan Kamil, the mayor now. So here we present the creativity traits of Bandung, which is architecture for parks and buildings. And now the mayor has this themed park. And these are the other creative, this is our city branding.bdg. If you want to know more about this or about us, we have some brochures, but they're in limited amount, so you can come to us and ask for it later. So to close this presentation, I will show you about 4 minutes video that wrap up what I just talked about. Pasang videonya, Vic. Ya boleh. It's good that I have the timer here, so I know that I can change video. Thank you.